why, when I spent all these years looking for good grapes, did it yield only arrogant fools and complete cowards and less than men who raise daughters that deal with people according to their treachery, their generational rebellion, and their willingness to conform to a planet that has hopelessly betrayed God? Let's put it in this context, shall we? Isaiah 5, the Song of the Vineyard. I will sing for the one I have a song about his vineyard. My loved one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower in it and cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes, but it yielded only bad fruits. When we look at the martial art order, the choicest human beings were those related to the martial art order. All these desirable traits in women, right? We talk about, the way their body's shaped, their mind, their intelligence. They have a certain intelligence, a certain kind of desirable kind of way about them if they're related to the martial art order. It's a long story why that is. Okay. Anyway, then he looked for a crop of good grapes, but it yielded only bad fruit. Now you dwellers in Jerusalem and people of Judah, judge between me and my vineyard. What more could have been done for my vineyard than I have done for it? When I looked for good grapes, why did it yield only bad? So when we look at the planet was given the martial art order. Okay? The martial art order's descendants were from the martial art order. Okay? The Royal African Falcon martial art order. Okay? This God gave them Horus, so to speak. Okay? The idea of the top martial artist, the falcon, the faster, the master, the grace, the righteousness, the focus, moral intensity. God gave them such an ideal leader as people like me, but I am the pinnacle of it. And obviously you're hearing me sabotage, you're seeing me sabotage for the last couple of years heavily, okay? He gave them everything they needed to come to God. All the world had to do was get in where they fit in, make up the natural order, the divine order, the order that God testified was his order, and under no circumstances was anyone to act like a bitch about this order. Okay, what more should God have done to him? He gave him trees that give him fruit. Okay, like banana trees, apple trees, trees that bear fruit to eat, animals to eat, fish to eat, water that he taught him how to purify through nature. He gave him a kind of jungle gym training course, animals that pose certain threats so people would develop intelligence. He gave him all these trees to heal themselves with, and all this stuff to develop their souls through generational repetition of focus, moral intensity, and wisdom. Okay? What more could you expect God to do? But you see these ungrateful, spoiled brats, these less than men wussies, and these harlots that date them. Just complete fools with no kind of sense of nature and the supernatural in nature. No care for their afterlife. Just just entitled fools, cowards, people who are deficient when it comes to understanding nature. So this is why verse 5 comes next. He says, now I will tell you what I'm going to do to my vineyard. I will take away its hedge, and it will be destroyed. I will break down its wall, and it will be trampled. I will make it a wasteland, neither pruned nor cultivated, and briars and thorns will grow there. I will command the clouds not to rain on it. Now, is this literally talking about rain? No. Okay, the desert is symbolic of what is going to happen to humanity now that they have accepted the tutelage, the leadership of the devil, Set, and Anu, and Ki, the earth deity, and all the pagan deities in the pagan world. Okay? They will not get the spiritual sustenance from the sky, which is what the rain stands for. They will not be truly developed. They will not evolve to be superior. There will be unnatural, clever by half filth, too clever by half filth, okay, that is headed for an eternity of punishment, dishonor, and dishonor with their families that, ironically, and strangely enough, we see a certain poetic justice here, that they put before God. With those same families they put before God, they will live in a state of eternal punishment and dishonor. How could they not see that coming? How stupid could they be? That is the opposition view. Complete idiots. Verse 7, the vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the nation of Israel, and the people of Judah are the vines he delighted. Now, some people are like, well, I'm not a Jew, so it's okay. But Jesus extended the Jewish spirit to the Gentiles, which is the moral of the story, which is superimposed on the martial art order that is extended to the Gentiles. Israel is Ra'el, Abraham, A, Alpha, B, Raham. Okay, he extended it to them. Okay, so the whole world is guilty. Either they're guilty of turning their back on the moral precision that was spread around the world through the Abrahamic faiths and otherwise, or they're guilty of accepting it and pretending that they didn't turn their back while turning their backs on it. There's no way around it. The vineyard of the Lord Almighty, this is Isaiah, now this is the present day. The vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the entire nations, all the nations of the world, and all the peoples of the world. And that whore that led him astray. Seated on the sea, represents the masses of the people in Revelations. The vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the nation of Israel, and the people of Judah are the vines he delighted in. And he looked for justice, but saw bloodshed. Where are the kings whose throne is established for justice? It's only me. He for righteousness, but heard cries of distress. Where is the righteousness in the world? Why aren't women dealing with men according to their righteousness? It said that every 6 seconds a child starves to death. Why isn't there righteousness? Why is there distress and romantic injustice and idolatry? Because people are not Royal African Falcon martial artists or their servants. People are bitches, cowards, and selfish dogs who would rather seek a life of self-indulgence while the world suffers than to cleanse themselves with the spirit that can only come through the Royal African, pure masculine, heterosexual, Royal Falcon martial art order. The top martial artist, I am the last.